And as we move right along, we have Calagon, and this is Tim from Calagon, who's going to talk about their seating solutions as well. So we have lots of different products today, and I am so excited at how many of you are actually on the call today. It's been great. So let me start Tim. Are you all ready to roll?
We are ready to roll.
All right, I'm starting timer right now. It's all yours.
All right. Yeah, so I'm Tim Balz. We've got Chris Stoll here. Calagon, what we do is we do smart seating. This is primarily targeted at people who utilize wheelchairs. So we've got an array of products based on your need. Calagon itself was founded by ex-NASA and SpaceX engineers who, when we learned about some of the issues with pressure injuries, we felt that because of the lack of innovation, that someone needed to come and try to use modern technology to solve this problem. For me, I've been in this space now for quite some time. I've been in and around the wheelchair space for almost 15 years. Started with a nonprofit I founded in high school where I would refurbish and give away complex rehab chairs. And then now, fast forward from working with Stephen Hawking to build the world's first smart wheelchair, which he endorsed and then was named the #1 smart device of the year by Intel. And then ended up going to SpaceX and working on an array of programs. But now, my background, I'm a mechanical engineer. And then Chris is from the surgery space, so he's had quite a bit of time in the medical space. And I'm excited to tell you about some of our products. So, Chris, do you want to talk about our first cushion, what it does and how it can drive value for people's patients?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Calagon, the focus that we have on our product line is going to be primarily our main focuses are on skin integrity. And on the end, meeting the need for the rising level of patient compliance, both trying to help the end user to maintain that compliance and to help the clinicians involved to keep on top of their patient compliance, reduce anxiety, to make sure that their patients are safe, seated, living an active seated life. So we started for the first 3 years. We had Orbiter Classic, which is an awesome seating cushion. It's got 3 layers of viscoelastic foam seated on top of 5 strategically anatomically placed air cells. And a lot of this is going to be in our OrbiterMed, which is our custom configured cushion. But the advanced pressure management technology bleeds over into both products. And that's really where the magic's at. So the advanced pressure management technology is facilitated in the air cells. And what they do is they're strategically placed, as I had previously said, and they independently offload from one another to create a cyclic blood flow environment and really revascularize the whole seating arena. The way it works is each of those cells will independently offload for a period of 111 to 120 seconds, because that's the time from hematologists we understood to really create capillary exposure and to create revascularization and to get that blood flow really pumping. That technology was published in the Journal of Tissue Viability. So if you look it up on that aspect, we had a lot of clinical backing, some really cool and powerful case studies that supported it. So it's not just another alternating air cushion. It does have elements of that, but it does a lot more to really be addressing the needs of your patients relatively. So that's both in Orbiter Classic and in our custom configured OrbiterMed, which I'll show you in just a second. But the idea there is that the air cells themselves and the advanced pressure management technology will revascularize the seating arena. So it does that in one element. It's able to influence posture. You're going to see that more in our OrbiterMed, but the air cells themselves in Orbiter Classic can influence posture as well. You can dial them in to really influence and kind of help out with maybe some obliquities, some possible asymmetries. If you have somebody who's sacral sitting, it can give you a little more support underneath the thigh bags to really mitigate some of those existing conditions. So it does that, and on top of the air cells are underneath one of the best sun-made viscoelastic foams in the market. So where the air cells are placed, you've got a sacral arena air cell sitting right beneath and covering both of your ITs. We hone that technology in on OrbiterMed, which is our custom configured coated cushion, and had 2 sacral air cells that take place. You have 2 supporting air cells underneath the trochanters, right underneath that right and left butt cheek, and they're sitting underneath the trochanters to give you support. There, and then you have two more that are underneath your distal thigh, and those are creating a nice aperture for a cutout, if you will, to give those ITs room to float. Which in most conditions, that's going to be the area most susceptible to skin breakdown. Where the real cool element in it is that in the aperture of that cutout, normally that's going to be more susceptible to skin breakdown. Ours independently offloads. So in the areas that are normally heightened sensitivity, ours is offloading and creating revascularization. So that's the magic of it. The last and most important part is these cushions are meant to be forgiving. So if you're in a molded situation and you're sitting in that incorrectly, it's really going to actually be, in some cases, a little bit dangerous. We mitigate that, and we've addressed that by having our advanced pressure management technology adaptively react to any increases in pressure. So for instance, if a grandson comes on your lap, if you're leaning forward, the cushion knows that you've altered from that safe prescribed pressure setting, and it will, those aerosols will offload to relieve some of the pressure in that arena. So just to recap it, the advanced pressure management system will help with revascularizing the seating arena. It will be forgiving and adaptable in real time. And also it can influence posture by real time, in a sense, custom molding those aerosols to fit your relative patient. So think of that on the compliance side. Think of that on the follow-up side. When instead of having to reshave down a patient that's coming in with irritation, you simply go in the app and adjust their aerosol settings. It's really powerful when you think about it in that sense. And patients with a lot of cognitive ability can do that themselves. But just to highlight, that is prescribed pressure. So that's our Orbiter Classic. We took that APM technology, our advanced pressure management technology, the revascularization technology, and we put it into a custom configured coated cushion. Thank you, Tim. And the custom configured coated cushion will really help on that postural influence side of things. And the way it'll do that is it's got your lateral thigh supports, and your lateral pelvic supports. It has a medial thigh support, so a nice cancel in the middle that has a variety of different options. You can put in a pre-ischial ridge. It has a nice deep pelvic well. All the elements of a configured cushion that you really need. But the magic is we take that advanced pressure management technology that is novel and nobody else has, and we put that inside of a custom configured cushion to address patients who need that structure and that support. What's really neat about it, and another thought to keep in mind, is that by adding a pre-ischial ridge, normally you're concerned with skin breakdown underneath the distal femur or underneath the thighs. With ours, you have air cells underneath that kind of mitigate that. And that redistribution technology, the advanced pressure management technology, will help to revascularize that arena. So you can kind of put in different elements into your practice where you can address certain things that you weren't able to before with this technology. So that's our Orbiter lines. What's really neat is some of that technology on the skin integrity side and on the helping with the compliance side, we put into Booster. What Booster is this is an advanced pressure management system that is, it's an air management system that is utilized to manage and maintain the prescribed pressure you set for any single cell static air cushion relative to that cushion on whatever patient is sitting on it. Meaning this turns into a pump and event. And what it is meant to do is go over the valve completely. And it's meant to alleviate the thought and the anxiety that a loved one's coming in and overinflating a cushion, which you see more often than not. Thinking a cushion is underinflated, putting more air into it. We're addressing the fact that you're going to have to check that pressure 3 or 4 times a day as requested in the manual for a lot of these single cell static air cushions. And we're taking away the anxiety over there being a leak. Booster will manage and maintain whatever is set for the prescribed pressure for that relative patient. It will do that until it literally kills itself, the battery. The way it does it is it's meant to be utilized one-handed when you're palpating and doing your IT check underneath the ITs. These buttons turn into a pump and a vent for air to come into it. You have to enter in clinician mode because, again, We're trying to emphasize the point that this pressure is prescribed pressure.
Clinician mode enabled.
So if you can hear that, the clinician mode needs to be enabled. The patient then sits on the cushion. You inflate or deflate the cushion to the prescribed pressure relative to that patient. You're doing it meant to be very easy, but it's meant to be clinician involved. Do it with an IT check underneath the two ITs, set that patient at where they're at. Let this exit clinician mode. It's got a nice little clip on the back of it. Otherwise, it fits into our partner over at ETAC and Key Mobility. They have the star cushion, and it fits in nicely into the pocket in the front of that star cushion. But this is meant to be set and then forget. It's never meant to,
Clinician mode.
so it'll exit clinician mode, but it's never meant to leave that valve. You just need to charge it at night. It's got a 48 to 56 hour battery life, actually longer than that. But the idea is that we want to make sure that we're charging this at night with the other devices. So this is really meant for a problem that's existing right now to manage and maintain that. So that is booster, and then orbiter. The orbiter line does that in a little bit more of an involved setting. But this is for everybody who needs one for their single cell static air cushions to take away that anxiety. So that's our basic product line.
Yeah, so what's exciting is, so actually I saw we had one question that I want to hit real quick. Do we currently sell anything for like mattresses? So right now, Calagon does not supply any mattress products yet. Now, we do have a couple of people out there that use the air mattresses where it's similar to like a Roho cushion or a Star cushion, who are working on validating the booster that we just showed you to manage that pressure. So we're hoping to have more information on that within the next few weeks. But besides that, we don't currently do anything for mattresses. Now, some of the other things to note is the OrbiterMed that we showed. This product is code verified by Medicare, so it is reimbursable. That code is the E2609. So there's an order form you have to fill out. You can order that through one of the many dealers around the country. But it's a very like commonly prescribed code. Now, besides that, talking about clinical efficacy. So Chris did mention that we are covered. We do have actually like an independent lab that did a study on our technology. It then was published in a peer-reviewed journal. That's the Journal of Tissue Viability. In that study, it was found that our technology did actually increase tissue oxygenation. And then we've also got multiple case studies and white papers that you can find on our website. Calagon's very heavy into research. We found that many of the seating solutions out there today are not nearly as heavily research backed as we felt they should be. And so that's where we really leaned into that and put a lot of resources into continuing to improve everything from the algorithms to the cushion design, and really working to get our technology into as many people's hands as possible to try to reduce, the number of skin breakdowns that we have. All right, and then one of the questions was, is this for inpatient or can it be used at home? It can work for both. So our cushions are meant to be something someone can sit on all day long. The booster, for example, you just charge it about once a week, a little more frequently than that. We recommend people just plug it in every evening, just so that way it becomes a habit. But our other cushions as well will run for 16 to 20 hours a day of seated time. And so you can take it home, you can take it out. We have people that have the off-road mountain bikes and have spinal cord injuries that are putting our cushion on those applications, and it's working fantastic. So it's really meant to be able to meet you where you're at, whether that's on a mountain bike going off-road, or whether that's in an inpatient setting on a wheelchair.
Or in an airplane, as a matter of fact, because both of these devices have ambient pressure change technology to adjust for that sort of pressure shifts as well.
Yes, and then one of the questions where can it be ordered through like Pneumotion, NSM, or Mobility Works? Absolutely. So talk to your dealers right now. We've got, Pneumotion, NSM. If there's a smaller dealer, right, we are building out that network. We do have the best independent reps across the country.
Yep.
We were able to land them this past year. They're all trained up and ready to go with these products. So even if you're not local to Melbourne, Florida, where we're based and where we do our manufacturing, we almost certainly have a rep near you And if not, we've got most of the dealers around the country.
Yeah, and some of the major rep groups we work with in the areas we work with them are on the West Coast, we're with Barry Brewis and the Brewis Group. Southwestern Territory, Texas is Calagon and the Southwest Med Reps. Midwest will be Target Mobility, Casey Clark Groups, and on the East Coast is David Rabner with the Rabson Group. So, but we work with all of the dealers, national and small.
And then we do have, for the booster product, that product is sold under the brand Sentinel. It's sold by ETAC internationally. So even if you're not in the US, even if you're over in Germany, you can still get access to some of Calagon's great technology.
Hey, thank you guys. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Time is up. How can people get to you real quick? How do they reach you?
Yeah, so you can reach out at contact@calagon.com. Our website is calagon.com, and we'll place all that information in the chat here, so you can get a hold of us.
Thank you so much.